Hey everyone, today we're going to be continuing our new series called How to Get Fast on Gran Turismo 7 Episode 2. Today we're going to be looking at Group 3 Deep Forest, 6 laps, racing hard tyres. So, this combo can be a bit tricky, so we're going to break it down and analyse every corner on how to gain time here, how to get faster. So, as you can see by the leaderboard, there's two main cars here. You have a 911 in P1, Ziotti there with 26.1, very good lap by him for Monday. And you have a Ford GT with Golty there on the 26.332, which is a very solid lap in that Ford. And you have other cars there, NSX, M6, Viper. I've given you some other cars you can use here. You can use the 4C. This could be a good car here. The Genesis X, as you can see on the leaderboard. And many other MR cars, as it's hard tyres, with some FRs as well potentially being available. So a lot of choice in this daily compared to last week, where it was just a one make or even just the Ford GT in play. So yeah, we'll be talking through both the 911 and the Ford GT, what brake balance to use, how to do each corner, and explaining why I do it this way. And yeah, this is the way we're going to go. So we're here. We're going to watch P3's lap. Goto from Japan, a very fast driver from the Asia region. So he's using the 911 and his lap is about a tenth and a bit off Ziotti. And we're going to see how he can gain the time and essentially what he's doing wrong. So on the straight, I would do the same here. He's revving out in 5th gear. This car needs to be revved out in 5th gear because of 6th. It doesn't have a great 6th gear, so I just rev it in 5th like he does, and that keeps the speed of the car on the straights. So just before turn 1, Goto's braking just before the 100 board to try and aim for that apex of that curb to the left. We're going to try and keep it as tight as possible through that corner and get the best exit out of there. So he goes down to first with this car, which is what I do as well, and he exits in second as I've seen before. So the thing about turn 1 here, it's one of the best chances to get a move done because of the slipstreaming involved in the last straight, the back straight, and the main straight as well. So as you can see, he's slowing the car down just on the apex of the curb, and he's going to try and keep it to the left and exit in second gear. Yep, he's exiting in second gear. Now, tip for this, you don't want to be accelerating under 100% because the car will just understeer. You'd want to accelerate about 80% again. This is the main tip with these physics with these Group 3 cars. It's about an 80% acceleration because if you go higher, the car will just oversteer or it will just understeer off the track. So about an 80%, and then once the corner opens up, you get the extra 20%, and that can gain you the lap time right there. He's revved that too much. He's revved it too much. I wouldn't rev it that much. I'd just go 4th, 3rd. I wouldn't want to lose any momentum. So going into this corner, very tough corner, can easily lose a tenth and a half if you just go a little bit wide or even not carry enough speed. You need to carry a lot of speed through these fast corners. As you can see, he's carrying about 104 miles an hour, which is quite a lot in the 911. So yeah, as you can see, that means he's going a bit wide and he has to cut in and brake a bit earlier for that second left, which means yeah, he can't cut this a lot, which loses lap time. I would probably go first gear there. He keeps it in 3rd. I would keep it in 3rd. Keeps the car stable and carries the speed. But in that corner, I would go down to first gear because you need the rotation, and he hasn't, how do I say, managed to carry the exit speed he needed to use first, and he's kept it in 2nd. But if you can carry the speed there, 1st to 2nd, and you gain time there, it's as simple as that. Again, he maximizes the track as much as possible here. If you can maximize the track, that will gain you a lot of lap time. This is because if you don't maximize it, you're just going to be slow through a corner exit, and the next corner will just be coming too far, and by that time you've lost around two tenths. So yeah, it's quite a lot of lap time loss. Again, you just need to feather the brake here. This is one of those corners where you need to feather the brake, and I'd go down to first as well. Just get the rotation, as much rotation as you can from the Porsche 911, especially on hard tyres, as it's an acceleration car. And second gear again has quite a good second gear, so if you can exit in second gear. Again, this corner you just need to cut it. You want to cut it right, then hit the left. Essentially, which he's doing. You need to cut it right, and then you want to just bend it to the left and carry as much speed as possible. Most of these corners in this middle sector are about just carrying speed and how much speed you can carry. So if you can carry a lot of speed, immediately you're gaining 3-4 tenths. And that is just because you're taking a lot of risk, which I wouldn't do in the race, but in time trial you can. There he's made a bit of a mistake, he touched the grass, but you want to touch that curb, but not touch the grass, because you don't want to lose speed essentially. So why he's going down, you would go down to first, I would go down to first. Again, more rotation here. And yes, you want to brake just in the middle of the bridge. You don't want to brake much later. You want to hit that apex. I would go tight. I go tight on every apex. He did there. And yep, I agree with what gears he's using out that corner. And you want to just rev the car out as much as possible. So coming into the last corner, this is a very, very tough corner actually. So what I do is my braking point is there. Always with this corner, my first braking point is that curb. Just before that curb, I'd start braking. Maybe if it's group 2, slightly different group 1. But in group 3, always just before the curb. So that you don't go too deep or you don't miss the apex. Again, he's using slow down shifts. Why he's using slow down shifts? To keep the car stable. If you go too quick, you're just going to overshoot the corner. And that's why there's slower downshifts in an MR car, especially compared to an FR car such as the Genesis or the Viper or whatever. Slower downshifts always work. Now, this corner on controller is quite tough. You can lose easily 2 tenths just because you're on a controller. You can't get the rotation. On a wheel, however, if you can just clip this apex and exit this, it can gain you lots of lap time, 2-3 tenths easily. If you just how do I say, if you just coast into that corner and then accelerate as soon as possible, as you can see he's doing. And first gear, because this car's got a very, very long first gear compared to other cars, and that's why it's so good of its track, just because it has very good acceleration and it's very good in the corners. And he's done a solid lap, which is around the 26.3. There's obviously lap time to be gained. It's a Monday lap. So yeah, decent lap for a Monday by Gotto. And yeah, quite a solid lap to analyse. The brake balance I'd use in the Porsche is +2 or +3. I did this car in Trial Mountain. I got P3 in the world, but I was P1 on the Sunday. I just didn't bother to time trial, to be honest. But +2 or +3 of this car. I use +2, and you should be fine. I wouldn't use +5. Too much rotation. Essentially, you're going to be oversteering a little bit. If you go negative brake balance, you're going to be understeering a little bit. And yeah, essentially, you want to have a good balance between understeer and oversteer. And I think +2 or +3 will definitely work with this car. Okay, now watching the Ford GT. So Gr3 is the driver here. He's done a solid lap. It's a P5, I think. A 26.3 again, so quite solid. The leaderboard's quite close at the current time. So with this car, it's a lot different to a Porsche. It's so fast on the straight line, but in the corners it can understeer quite a lot. So brake balance I'd recommend for this car is a +2 or +3, similar to the Porsche, but for different reasons. Just to get more rotation, and its brakes are not the best. So coming into turn 1, again brake just before the 100. He's keeping it in second. I think this is wrong. I think you want to maximize rotation with this car. So first to second, and you're good to go there. If you can go from first to second, this will gain you a bit of time, because you can brake a tiny bit later, but also carry a lot more speed in the midway of a corner, which means out of the exit, you can gain quite a bit of lap time. So I think there's time to improve there for Gr3. Maximize the track as always deep forest or any track you can. Yep, here you can carry a bit more speed, I'd say, a bit more. You can push it a bit more, but it's fine. I think this is fine. Again, it's just to carry the speed. Second gear, I'd agree. Here, I'd go first. Second was good there, just to get the rotation to maximize the track and push the car to the left. But here, I'd recommend first gear. Again, for more rotation and second on the exit, just to gain extra time out of the corner and improve your lap essentially. So second there, yeah, I mean you could either go from first to second or second. You can test it out, keep it in second or go from first to second. Again, you have to feather the brake. You need to trail brake a little bit as this is a different corner from others. It's not a heavy braking zone, and you need rotation. So that's what I do. So yep. Again, this car's around the 95-100% shift. Here you can maximize the track a bit more. I don't think he did. If you can move a bit more to the right, again, you can gain quite a bit of lap time in this corner because this corner just relies on carrying the speed. Like I discussed at Sardinia A with that left-hander, the right and the left. This is a similar corner. So he's keeping it in third. He's just went a bit wide and yeah, that lost him a little bit of lap time. Coming into this corner, at the start of the bridge, midway of the bridge, again, brake. No, no, I wouldn't keep it second. I would go down to first. Again, for more rotation. This car, you want rotation with this car because it's not the best in the corner. So I would go first to second there. And yeah, he had, he had a bit of an unstable exit, but that's fine. That can lose you time though. You want to keep the car planted so the 70, 75, 80 with this car will work again as with other cars. 75 to 80% throttle technique. He's now 54.9, but this car is where it's at its best. The straight, and this is why it's a better race car than the 911 because you can hold your position, you can overtake easier, and I think it's quicker with fuel than the 911 is with fuel. So yeah, this is what I think of this car. And again, into the last corner, you need to brake a bit earlier because you're carrying much more speed. So start braking at that sign there, the PlayStation sign. And yes, this car's much harder to rotate in. If you're on control of this car, you'll lose more lap time than you're on control of a Porsche because there's less rotation, especially in the slower corners. And he exits in second there. And yep, that's why I do first to second. Get on the power immediately. Early on the power there, the more lap time you can gain. And you need to keep narrow up to the line. And he's done a solid lap again. A nice lap for Galti, especially on a Monday. I think the world record here will be around the 25.7, 25.8. I think there's still quite a bit of lap time to gain, and I think the best car here will be the Ford GT because it was last time in August, and yeah, I think it has the most potential out of any car. But other cars can definitely compete, as you can see by the leaderboard. There's so many options compared to last week that yeah, if you can pick a decent car, you'll do well. So yeah. Have a great week. I think this is actually a very good combo. 9 minutes for daily B and a lot of overtaking opportunities at this track. Quite fun racing, quite fun slipstream battles. So yeah, quite a nice daily B compared to last week. So have a great week. Enjoy the racing. And yeah, I'll catch you all later this week with probably a stream to have fun. So yeah. Goodbye everyone and catch you all later. Bye bye.